Chapter 1: The Porcelain God and the Plastic Suit. Your spit feels like sandpaper scraping down your throat, and even that is a luxury your body can no longer afford to produce. You are currently trying to summon half an ounce of saliva into a plastic cup. You're wrapped in 3 layers of thermal foil, covered by a heavy rubber sauna suit, buried under 4 hotel blankets. Your core temperature is a joke. You're cooking your own organs in a cheap bathtub. The digital clock on the nightstand reads 4:13 a.m. The official weigh-ins for the Apex Fighting Alliance are in exactly 5 hours. You are a 155-pound fighter, supposedly. Except, you're not. You peel yourself out of the foil cocoon, your skin looking like boiled gray leather, and step onto the portable digital scale your coach brought. The numbers flicker, dance, and settle. 157.2. Your heart, which is already beating out of rhythm from dehydration, sinks straight into your empty stomach. You have to lose 2.2 pounds. There is no fat left. There is barely any water. You are just a skeleton wrapped in a thin layer of muscle and bad decisions. Back in the tub, your coach mutters, not even looking you in the eye. Chapter 2: The Extra Pound of Flesh. Fast forward 5 hours. You are physically carried into the hotel ballroom behind the curtain. You can't walk straight. Your vision is swimming with black spots. The state athletic commissioner nods at you. You strip entirely naked. You don't care about dignity. You only care about gravity. You step onto the official commission scale behind the black modesty hoop. The room goes dead silent. The commissioner taps the metal weight. It slides. It balances. He looks up, his expression completely blank, and barks into the microphone. 156.4. You missed it. By essentially 1 single pound, considering the 1 pound allowance. Across the room, you see the manager of your opponent, Iron Elias Thorne. The manager smiles. It's a shark's smile. That smile means your life is about to become a financial nightmare. Missing weight isn't just an embarrassment. It is a breach of contract that triggers an immediate, ruthless corporate mugging. You have exactly 1 hour to cut the remaining pound, or the commission officially logs the miss. You already stopped sweating 2 hours ago. Your body has literally shut off the taps. You are done. Chapter 3: The Extortion Mechanics. Let's break down the mechanics of the punishment. When you sign a bout agreement with the AFA, the fine print is a loaded gun pointed at your wallet. Missing weight triggers an automatic penalty. The standard fine is 20 to 30% of your entire purse, not just your show money, but your win bonus too. If you manage to get the victory, 30% gone instantly. And where does that money go? It doesn't go to charity. It goes directly into the pocket of your opponent, Elias. He gets a 30% raise just for successfully starving himself on schedule. Let's do the math on your suffering. Your contract is $50,000 to show, $50,000 to win. If you win, you make $100,000 gross. The fine applies to the whole 100. That's $30,000. $30,000 evaporates because you held on to 16 ounces of fluid. That $30,000 is your profit margin. You've already spent $20,000 on your 8-week training camp, medicals, and flights. Your own manager, Victor, takes his 20% of the gross before the fine is applied. He gets paid his full fee regardless of your penalty. Taxes will take another 30% of what's left. Chapter 4: The Opponent's Veto. But the money isn't the worst part. The worst part is the absolute surrender of your leverage. Because you missed weight, Elias has the legal right to simply decline the fight. He can say, no, he's too heavy, it's a safety risk, and if he walks away, he still gets his show money. You get absolutely nothing, and you still owe your coaches and your creditors for the training camp. Elias's manager knows this. The AFA promoter, Declan Vance, knows this. Suddenly, the fight business stops being about who has the best left hook and becomes a high-stakes hostage negotiation. Elias's team calls a meeting in the back hallway. They don't just want the 30% commission mandate, they want more. They know the AFA needs this co-main event to sell the pay-per-view. Elias is feeling very disrespected, his manager purrs. We want the 30%, plus we want a catch-weight stipulation that you can't weigh more than 165 tomorrow. They want to restrict your rehydration. They want you weak tomorrow night. If you say no, the fight is off. You don't get paid, you default on your credit cards, and the promoter buries you for ruining his card. Chapter 5. The Math of Fighting for Free. You're standing in the hallway, sipping Pedialyte that tastes like liquid gold, realizing the profound absurdity of your situation. If you accept these terms, you are literally paying for the privilege of a fist fight. Let's calculate the nightmare scenario. You fight, you lose. You only get your 50 grand show money, minus the 15 grand fine to Elias, minus 10 grand to your manager, minus 10 grand to your coaches, minus 20 grand in camp expenses and taxes. You are mathematically in the negative. If you get knocked out tomorrow, you will have effectively paid $5,000 out of pocket to get a concussion. This is the brilliant trap of combat sports contracts. The promoter shifts all the financial risk onto the desperate laborers. Declan Vance isn't losing a dime today. Only you are. The promoter just sits back and watches you cannibalize each other over percentages. But despair is a useless emotion in this game. If you panic, you get eaten. You have to find the angle. You lean against the cold concrete wall, feeling the fluid slowly returning to your brain, and then it hits you. You don't have leverage over Elias, but you do have leverage over Declan Vance. Chapter 6. The Reverse Hostage Situation. Here is the reality of tomorrow's fight card. The main event is a boring grappling match between two guys with zero charisma. The fans are buying this pay-per-view to see you and Elias go to war. If your co-main event gets scrapped, the pay-per-view buys drop by $100,000. That is a multi-million-dollar loss for the AFA. Declan Vance cannot afford to lose this fight. Declan needs you in that cage just as badly as you need the paycheck. He is trying to stay out of the crossfire, letting Elias's manager squeeze you, but you're going to drag the promoter right into the mud. You tell your manager to stop talking to Elias's team. You walk directly down the hall toward Declan Vance's makeshift office. His security guard tries to stop you. You look through the guard like he's glass. You push the door open. Declan is on his phone, screaming at someone about lighting rigs. He hangs up and glares at you. "Tommy, you're supposed to be hydrating and groveling right now. What is this?" "I'm not groveling, Declan," you say, your voice raspy but steady. "I'm pulling out of the fight. I feel dizzy. I think my kidneys are failing. I'm going to the hospital for an IV bag right now." Chapter 7. The Backroom Bluff. Taking an IV is strictly against the anti-doping rules. If you go to the hospital and get an IV, you are medically disqualified. The fight is instantly canceled, legally, and the commission backs you up. Declan's face drops. The color completely drains from his cheeks. He knows exactly what that means for his broadcast. "Tommy, don't be stupid. You're just dehydrated. Drink your fluids." "I am stupid, Declan. I'm so stupid I'm about to fight for negative money. Elias wants 30% and a rehydration limit. If I take that deal, I can't pay my mortgage. So, my kidneys hurt." It is a massive bluff. You need this fight. But in this business, the person who is willing to blow up the entire building usually gets what they want. Declan stares at you, doing the frantic math in his head. "What do you want, Tommy?" Declan growls, his voice dropping an octave. "You are no longer employer and contractor. You are two extortionists hammering out a truce in a back room." "I'll give Elias his 30%, you tell him. "I'll agree to his stupid rehydration clause. But you, Declan, are going to give me a discretionary locker room bonuses of exactly $30,000. You are going to offset my fine, quietly, out of your own pocket. And you are going to guarantee it in writing right now, or I am walking out that door and calling an ambulance." Chapter 8. Stepping into the cage in the red. Declan hates you. You can see the venom in his eyes, but he loves his pay-per-view revenue more. He grabs a piece of official AFA letterhead, scribbles the guarantee, signs it, and shoves it at you. "Get out of my office," he spits. "And you better put on the fight of the century tomorrow." You take the paper, fold it neatly, and walk out. You didn't beat the system, but you stopped it from bankrupting you. You spend the next 24 hours drinking gallons of water and eating salt. You hit the stupid rehydration limit for Elias's team, but mentally, you are completely bulletproof. You survive the boardroom. The next night, the arena is deafening. You stand in the tunnel, listening to the crowd scream. Elias is in the cage, looking smug, thinking he financially broke you before a single punch was thrown. He doesn't know about Declan's piece of paper. He thinks you're a desperate, starving animal fighting for pennies. He's right about the animal part. You step into the cage, and the referee locks the door. They took your pound of flesh on the scale. They tried to take your livelihood in the contracts. Now, the bell is about to ring, and you are going to make Elias pay for every single ounce. This is the fight business. It's disgusting, it's parasitic, and it's entirely corrupt. But when that bell rings, all the paperwork burns. Welcome to the Apex Fighting Alliance. Keep your hands up,